tardes o noches, ¿cómo están? Espero que todos estén bien. Una hora soy beso para todos ustedes. Vamos a ir presentando.
Look, it's Hu Tao! She looks kind of troubled. Shall we go say hi? Hey! Stop right there, heroes! What the? Oh, Xiangling! I was just kidding around. Happy Lantern Rite. Hope I didn't scare ya. Nah, of course not. We were just about to go say hi to Hu Tao. I noticed, which is why I stopped you. We can't disturb her now or we won't get to see the brand spanking new Director Who. Well, I gave her a new outfit as a gift, but she's so used to her uniform that she's hesitant to try it on. Ooh, what kind of outfit is it? A bright red one, of course. The color of prosperity and the color of Lantern Rite. But just so you're aware, Hu Tao's not really been herself lately. Whenever I invite her to hang out, she either finds an excuse not to come or spends the whole time staring into space. I've tried asking her what's wrong, but she won't even admit there's a problem. Anyway, so that outfit was my way of saying that I'm here as her friend, and I hope she'll feel better soon. Paimon was just thinking that she looked kind of troubled. Wow, Hu Tao! Is that a new outfit? It looks great! Nope. The tailor happened to be in Liyue looking for a change of scenery and fresh inspiration. We got talking and really hit it off, so it was no trouble at all. Oh, stop! I'm just glad you like it. Your voice is as sweet as ever, Hu Tao, but we're your friends. You can't hide how you're feeling from us, no matter how hard you may try. Work-related? You mean the funeral parlor? You stressing about work? That's gotta be a first. Guess it must be something super complicated, huh? Huh? You think Kuching would be able to help? Good idea! Especially since it's festival season. I heard the Ministry of Civil Affairs is putting on a street fair with loads of cool stuff to do. Forget about work for now, Hu Tao. Come have fun with us. Yeah, take some time to relax and recover your energy. Then you'll knock this thing out in no time. Aw, really? You sure you can't get out of it? Okay, fair enough. But don't take too long. And after the fair, how about we all have a meal at Wanmin Restaurant? My treat, of course. Paimon's drooling already. I'll protect us.
Rise. Faster? Okay, faster.
Por acá, ¿no? Desde una fiesta la voz de puta no la han puesto, pero sí puesto la J.
I take it these coins go inside the envelope? They look a little different from regular Mora. The sign of Vice Ravana! Yes, originally an exorcism sigil, widely used in thaumaturgy. These days, it's used as a lucky charm to prevent disaster and bring favor. Quite popular with business owners. Oh, I interrupted you, didn't I? Oh, sorry. You flatter me, Lady Yuhong. My family are but distant relatives. We would hardly consider ourselves the true heirs to that illustrious lineage. Well, I won't deny that I pride myself on my level of learning. So by all means, it would be my pleasure to assist the Lady Yuhong.
Ka-ching! Hard at work with the festivities as usual, huh? Wow, nice to meet you, Madam Lun.
The Traveler, her buddy Paimon, and Xiangling. Hello! Oh, sorry. Interrupted again, didn't I? It's just quite exciting, meeting these three people I've heard so much about. I never imagined I'd get the chance.
I think you mean two people, right? I'm just a chef. A good one, but it's not that much to get excited about. You don't need to include me just to be
Oh, I beg to differ. The first meal I ate in Liyue Harbor was at Wanmin Restaurant. Xiangling's cooking gave my taste buds plenty to be excited about. Please, call me Lanyan. And I'm no master craftswoman. Just a humble maker of handicrafts.
Artesana.
Wheel of Life. Let the show begin. Wow, Paimon's never heard that story before. Shaped like a huge tree, right? Oh, I think I heard that one from a storyteller once. The sanctification of Tao Du. So Tao Du is the giant tree?
Even today, in my hometown, people still say things like, "You'll never cross Mount Taodu when you die." It's
Oh no! And then what?
That's where the sanctification of Taodu comes in. The 8 adepts rose up to solve the crisis and laid down a great magic array to purify Taodu.
Wait! The border? The border between life and death? That's where it comes from?
So the legends say, but who knows if it's true?
Those 8 adepts must be super powerful if they could purify a god. Are we sure they weren't just adepti?
Yep. And in fact, their tale specifically emphasizes that most of them were ordinary humans.
If I remember right, they were from several groups that joined forces. A Guixiang one, a Lianxiang one, and...
Right, the 3 hermits of Guizhang, the 2 sages of Lianshan, and the 3 beasts of Taodu. Collectively, the 8 adepts. The mainstream narrative holds that the Guizhang hermits and the Lianshan sages were human. That's certainly what the clan genealogies claim, although my personal knowledge of Chiman divination is very patchy.
Seriously? Did Shinsho tell you that? Because it sounds like something right out of a martial arts novel. So what about the 3rd hermit?
Hablan mucho.
So it's true? The Wangsheng funeral parlor really does have a secret art?
I heard from Hu Tao that she has a flaming staff handed down by her forebears. Apparently it has special powers used for cleansing rituals. But it could just be another one of her tall tales. Oh, you probably haven't met Hu Tao yet, have you? She's the director at the funeral parlor.
I've never had the pleasure, but I've certainly heard of Director Hu Tao.
Okay, well these Guizhang hermits sound pretty legit. How about the 2 sages and the 3 beasts? What's their story?
I heard there's a hidden palace deep in the mountains south of the Stone Gate. Traditionally, that's believed to be where they retreated for...
So, what were they? Monsters or something? Huh? All 3 of them? Ganyu's here. Okay. Of course not. Aw, what? Not you too? Seems like everyone's busy with work. The traveler's being especially nice today, checking in on everyone's well-being. Well, what other option does she have? It's not like she can drag them away from their desks and force them to have fun against their will.
I actually have something I need to do as well. So I should get to the Wangshang funeral parlor.
Oh, are you looking for Hu Tao? She's supposed to meet us here so we can grab lunch. Why don't you come with? If you don't mind the extra company, of course.
Not at all. I'd love to. What a nice surprise.
Perfect! Hu Tao should have joined us here by now. I guess her meeting overran. Why don't we head to the funeral parlor? Okay, let's go!
Okay.
What are all these Mora for? They're huge! And so shiny!
Lady Yuhong said they're fortune coins. Go on, give them a rub. It'll bring you good luck.
Go. Let's dance. Are these lanterns? Nope. They're toys that shoot fireworks. New to this year's festival. You should try them, Paimon. Whoa, it's beautiful.
그렇게 했어.
Russian floral!
For the Lord of the Night!
The dead would blaze in drag!
Wow. Orders given. Orders received. Wheel of life.
Time for retribution!
Extract!
이거 해.
Oh, glory! Your soul! Neutralize! Sacrifice!
I got him cornered!
Speechless. A little ambiance.
Verdict is... Target acquired! Cha. 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 Ta. Claim these souls! My mistake!
Glory to which none
Sacred
can
name.
compare.
Fortune preserver.
Especially not when I'm in a bad mood. Easily incensed. Now you must. This'll brighten up the place. Extract.
Cha. I got him cornered!
Exactly. Since this has come at such a festive time, I'd rather keep things low-key to avoid disturbing the celebrations. Sure, but let's stick with something small. His lordship has never been a fan of ostentation. It sounds perfect. You think of everything, Director Who. Yes. His lordship had one made 2 years ago, in fact. He sourced an excellent block of gloomwood and had an artisan convert it into a casket. It's currently being stored at the old family house at Yilong Wharf. It's like you read my mind. Master expressed the same concern, but he also said he has full confidence in the Wangshang Funeral Parlor's judgment in this area. That sounds ideal. Oh, and we should put some rugs down. Make them tortoiseshell. His lordship is very fond of that color. Master requested no music procession, but 16 pallbearers. Nothing flashy. Plain clothes will do, as long as they're smart and all dressed the same. Open sedan chair, please, with 4 pairs of white plaques and 20 pairs of red plaques. Yes, 2 sets of gold weaponry and 2 sets of soul banners, 4 items per set. That will do nicely. For the hanging banner, we want an octagonal tube with 8 tassels per corner and a dome of red gauze covering the top. As for the portrait pavilion, we're looking to do one incense pavilion with 2 spare rooms. One is a changing room, the other is a display room. And I knew I missed something. The family neglected to consider that in their sorrow, but it's a minor detail. What would your suggestion be? Excellent! I must say, Director Who, you really understand your clients.
Greetings, Director Who. Lady Ningguang has arrived, and she would be most grateful if you could join her at Yujing Terrace.
Of course. I've taken plenty of your time already. Don't let me keep you.
Of course, Director. I'll handle it.
The Who family is truly blessed. It seems their directors go from strength to strength with each generation.
I agree. She was born for the job.
Ah, yes, Madam Undertaker. I didn't get the chance to discuss payment with the director.
There's no rush. I gathered from your conversation that the situation is still unfolding. This was just an initial meeting, so that we can make advanced preparations, yes?
That's right. Master asked me to come a few days ahead of time so that things aren't rushed at the last minute. On that note, please do keep everything strictly confidential for now. No public announcements.
Of course. You have my word.
Thanks. Could I trouble you for a pro forma invoice? Easier for the family to review that way.
I'll get that to you in due course. Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Hey, Fairy! We're looking for Hu Tao. Is she here?
You just missed her, unfortunately. She's attending a meeting elsewhere.
Oh. Any idea when she'll be back?
She didn't say, but she only left a moment ago. She could be some time. If it's anything urgent, I'd be happy to take a message for you and I'll relay it to her as soon as she returns.
Oh, no, it's nothing urgent.
If you'd prefer to speak with her directly, you can always wait till she's free.
Well, this sucks. Paimon thought Hu Tao would be done with work by now. I guess she's got more on her plate than we realized. Well, there's not much point in hanging around here. Why don't we go eat and come back later? Paimon is getting a little hungry. But shouldn't we wait for Hu Tao? It sounded like she's gonna be a while. Besides, I can always fire up the stove again when she's back. Okay, sounds good. Madam Lan, you must be getting hungry too, right? You should come with us. Madam Lan?
Oh, sorry. I spaced out. Whatever works for you.
Alright, Fairy, we'll head off then. Can you let Hu Tao know where we are when she gets back?
Sure. Take care, everyone. Butler Ann?
Ma'am, do you happen to know who that young lady with the black hair is?
I haven't met her before, but that silver swallow hairpiece makes me wonder if she's from Chenyu Vale.
Chenyu Vale,
Something the matter?
Well, it's just... So the other day, when I was out shopping, I ran into her and Master. They were chatting away, and I noticed that she showed him a very peculiar-looking rattan figure. Later that day, as I was moving his lordship to a more comfortable bedroom, I saw something underneath his bed. And would you know it, it was that same rattan figure. There was some kind of spell written on it. It was icy cold to the touch and made the whole room chilly. The whole thing
Okay.
seems very sinister.
Oh my goodness. Are you suggesting that there could be unnatural causes behind his lordship's condition? Well, I've heard they practice Chi-Man magic in Chenyu Vale. Pendhead fortune conveyance, fate transference, and the like.
The last thing I want to do is start suspecting anyone, but with his lordship bedridden and Master urging me to start discussing funeral arrangements, I can't help but think. Sorry. Look at me rambling away. I'm sure I'm just being paranoid. Please forget I said anything, and certainly don't repeat this to anyone else.
Don't worry, Butler Anne. The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor understands the importance of discretion. Client confidentiality is paramount.
De puta que eres en Tiny What.
Ad Astra Abyssal.
¿Cómo es que? Ya no puedo terminar, no puedo terminar esta misión. Así que hasta llegó el evento, puta madre.
If you ever want to trade tack...
Whoa!
If you ever want to... trade tactics. I'm always ready.
Hacemos lo que podemos, ya que me faltan hacer otras misiones para que...
Huh? What's a place like this doing in a library? Could this be the restricted section Lisa mentioned? Doesn't quite feel like it, though. You don't think this place is hiding some terrible secret, do you? Like those rooms you always hear about in scary stories? You know, the ones that are usually totally off limits? That's true. We just kind of waltzed in here. And it didn't seem like the lock had been broken or anything. Wait, hang on a minute. This isn't the door we came in through. Are we even in the library anymore? And what world would that be, huh? Too bad Lisa's not working today, otherwise we could ask her. Well, we're here anyhow, and this place doesn't look too dangerous. Why don't we just take a look around? New places are meant for exploring, after all. You gotta try all kinds of new things to become a good and experienced guide. Ooh, look, a stuffed wolf toy! So cute! It's so fluffy and soft. Huh. I wonder who left it here. What sort of guardian would be dozing away on the sofa like this? No danger in sight. Saw nothing means nothing happened. We should probably just leave it here for now. This place is huge, so let's keep on exploring.
tengo ni idea qué se hacen ahí. ¿Se refiere a Nania? Me suena como si fuera Nania. Fuego, hielo, geo. Fuego, hielo, amarillo. De verdad, no entiendo cómo juegas, la verdad, no entiendo. Igualmente esto ya pasó, la verdad no entiendo nada de lo que tengo que hacer ahora. Pues que es la misma. No entiendo los eventos, la verdad. También se puede hacer o no.
Thank you for coming on such short notice, Honorary Knight. I know you must be busy. Well, to make a long story short, there's a particular matter at hand that the Knights requires your assistance with. Yes, it has been one thing after another recently. Neither myself nor any of the Mondstadt garrison are able to catch a moment of peace. I have recently received multiple reports from the Knights of someone within the Lawrence clan having close dealings with the Fatui.
The Fatui? Again? Oh, but who are the Lawrence clan?
There was a dark period in Mondstadt's history when the aristocracy ruled over the city. The hard-won freedom that followed with the fall of Decorabian was lost once again as slavery spread throughout the land. The first Dandelion Knight, Vanessa, spearheaded the revolution that overthrew the old aristocratic system and established the Knights of Favonius, leading Mondstadt to become the city that you see today. The aristocrats that had oppressed the people of Mondstadt were none other than the Lawrence clan.
Oh, Paimon gets it! So the clan's descendants are now scheming with the bad guys to carry out more dubious deeds.
We suspect as much, though we have yet to obtain any solid evidence. The reason I summoned you here today is to ask you to help us further investigate this matter. Unfortunately, the Knights of Favonius and the aristocracy have been at odds with one another for as long as I can remember. We've already considered every possible way of resolving our differences, but it seems the descendants of the aristocracy remain antagonistic towards the Knights. No matter what stance we take when dealing with them, the outcome is always the same. Our efforts only result in adding more fuel to the flames. We could come knocking on their door on the grounds of a search warrant, but if the investigation were to come up empty, I'm afraid tensions and distrust would only increase. All of our past efforts would have been wasted. You are in fact the best candidate to represent the Knights of Favonius. But you need not emphasize your role as the honorary knight. You are a traveler from a distant land, and you can approach the aristocrats in this way. Once you come to friendly terms with the Lawrence clan, you should be in a good position to learn more of their possible connections with the Fatui.
Whoa, leave it to Master Jean to come up with such a thorough plan.
Perhaps such plans have become second nature after all the diplomatic issues I've dealt with. The name of the Lawrence clan member in question is Schubert. Lately, he can often be found strolling near the northern city walls. It is said that he is difficult to get along with due to his temperamental disposition, but if we approach him calmly, then things should go off without a hitch. Thanks again for your help. If you run into any snags along the way, I'll do anything in my power to support you.
Apuesto que se nos va a llegar a matar a alguien, ¿no? Bueno, ¿a quién tengo que matar ahora?
That's quite a crowd over there. Is someone doing a performance? Let's go see!
Solamente una persona.
Huh? Who are you?
Hello! We're here too.
Hello? What's wrong? Did you just say what's wrong? Huh. And I suppose you think that you can simply strut up here and greet me in such an ignoble and vulgar manner? Given that I don't recognize you, I can only assume that you are a traveler of some variety. I'll have you know that you are speaking with the Schubert Lawrence, a blood descendant of the magnanimous nobility. If you wish to address me, you'd best consider your words more carefully. Such nonchalant manners are inadmissible and will never do. Now, if you're somehow capable of understanding anything I've said, then you will get down on your knees, apologize for your negligent actions, and give me a proper introduction. That is the appropriate—
That's etiquette? Paimon's never heard of something so complicated before.
In former times, when people knew their place and respected traditions, such conduct was only basic courtesy when greeting a nobleman. And neglecting your manners would result in a swift whipping.
¿Le podemos
Look
pegar
at
ya?
the world now. Rules have been thrown to the wayside and manners forgotten. I cannot bear to see such degradation. What did you say? You dare question the dignity of the nobility? I'll have you know that though the Lawrence clan is in decline, myself and others of noble blood are looking for a chance to restore our rightful honor. Just look around. The people are unruly and undisciplined. I, however, strive to retain the elegance and etiquette of the nobility. After all, we are of a completely different breed by birth. Save your words. I find your manners and bearing repulsive. I have nothing to discuss with the likes of you. Besides, I am in no way obligated to instruct commoners on basic courtesies. Now I have more pressing matters to attend to. I'll take my leave.
¿Ya le puedo pegar?
So this is what Master Jean meant by difficult to get along with. Let's head back and talk things over with her.
Well, if it isn't the honorary knight! I'm just on my way out to gather some intel. I didn't expect to run into you here. Huh? Judging by your expression, you must have run into some trouble.
Master Jean tasked us with a special assignment, but things seem to have run aground for the moment.
No need to get down on yourself. Sometimes things just don't turn out as planned. Even I can't guarantee useful intel every time I'm dispatched. You just have to keep at it and never give up. Hey, why don't you let me try to help? What's the problem?
Master Jean asked us to build a connection with someone named Schubert Lawrence. But it turns out that he's a peculiar character that doesn't listen to anyone, especially Paimon.
Aha, Schubert! I know him. Let me guess. He's
said you didn't have any manners. I've been on the receiving end of his lectures many a time. The Lawrence clan can be very particular about such things. You mean everyone in the Lawrence clan is just a big headache? As aristocrats, they believe there should be a certain distance between themselves and common folk. I understand their thinking, but that's just not how things are anymore. However, there is one exception among the Lawrence clan, my good buddy, Eula. Buddy? That's right. Not only is she from the Lawrence clan, but she's also captain of the Knights of Favonia's 4th company. Eula is special. She's not quite like the other members of her clan. She has her own beliefs and it shows. In other words, she doesn't really adhere to the strict rules and conventions of her family. However, she's still quite knowledgeable about dealing with the Lawrences. I'm sure you'll see what I mean if you meet her.
That's strange. If Eula is a member of the Lawrence clan, then why would Master Jean choose us for the task? Couldn't she just ask Eula?
Well, it's a little complicated. Basically, the Lawrence clan has frowned upon the fact that Eula joined the Knights. Her family members don't particularly care for her. In their eyes, Eula is nothing but a traitor to the family. She's very easy to get along with. Just explain the situation, and I'm sure she'll help you come up with a way to get along with Schubert. In fact, I think she's out in the wilderness on patrol this morning. You should be able to find her around Storm Bear Mountains.
Thanks, Amber. All right, you heard her. Let's go find Eula.
Good luck, you two. I've got my own matters to investigate.
Who would have guessed the Knights? Well, if you want to learn about the conduct of the Lawrence clan, who better to ask than one of their own family members?
Let's go.
What are they doing here? Is that why Eula was sent on patrol here? Let's fight first and talk later!
Have a load of this! I see through you!
Delve into destiny!
Can't run! Well, Killjoy rolls like a... Not too far. You need to hurry up, collect myself. This one's well done.
Time for retribution!
This is trouble. Roasted fry.
Wheel of life. Shadows of fate.
Finally, so quiet. You need to hurry up. This was well done.
Verdict is...
You need to hurry up.
Surprise.
You need to hurry up.
Decided by destiny.
Unfortunate fault.
I will end you.
Wheel of Life. Delves into destiny.
You don't think twice before reaching for your sword, do you? Do you have any idea how long I've been tracking these targets? And now you get to stake a claim. You think you're stronger because you got to them first? Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
What?
That's right. I heard the commotion and came as swiftly as I could, only to find you two already fighting the Fatui. Not only that, you are making quick work of them too. If I didn't make my move, you would have been able to take all the credit. Still, I'm glad you're unscathed. Confronting that number of Fatui at once can be dangerous.
Sorry, Paimon doesn't understand what you mean, but thanks for your concern.
Concern? Why would I be concerned for the safety of my arch-enemies?
Arch-enemies? Wait a minute! You were saying how glad you were that we were unscathed a second ago!
By which I meant, if you were injured, I'd have to escort two strangers guilty of stealing my targets all the way back to Mondstadt. Which would mean you'd cause me even more trouble. My vengeance would be swifter still.
Huh? So that's how you see all this?
Yes, that's me.
Paimon thinks she's pretty strange. Although at least we can communicate with her.
You dare to call someone you've just met strange? Forget the aristocracy. That's rude even by normal standards. Speaking of which, how do you know my name?
This is the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius. And speaking of rude, we're trying to investigate an aristocrat named Schubert Lawrence. He's so obsessed with etiquette that he's not even willing to speak with us.
I understand now. That's my uncle, all right. But why do you mean to investigate him? I see. You have some nerve to faming a family member right in front of me. I will have vengeance for this too.
No! This is an assignment from Master Jean! It's just an investigation, that's all!
To the everyday citizens of Mondstadt, everyone in the Lawrence clan is scum. It's natural for rumors and unwarranted gossip to lead to such suspicion.
Hard to avoid such a reputation when you're known as the ruthless rulers of Old Mondstadt.
Oh, so that's what you think of me? Yet another transgression to avenge.
But, didn't you say it first? Oh.
Curious. We've only just met, and you've already given me 3 causes for vengeance. It's been a while since I've encountered anyone as interesting as you. I assume you need me to teach you the conduct of the Lawrence clan. Only then will you finally be able to communicate with my uncle, correct?
That's right. Amber told us to come and talk to you.
Well then, let's begin your training immediately. It'll be easier to train when we're back in Mondstadt. We'll require other people.
can put that aside for now. Besides, if it's the acting Grandmaster's assignment, and Amber's the one who recommended me, I should comply.
Paimon's confused. This girl's all vengeance this and revenge that. But she doesn't seem the least bit angry. Still, Paimon has met bigger weirdos before.
Lastimosamente, pues la aristocracia mundial no sé mucho ese tema, ya que yo, como le digo, soy de, ¿cómo decirlo?, familia humilde, así que no sé mucho del tema de modales y cosas así. Eso es lo básico que no colocamos todo sobre la mesa, tratar de evitar hacer eso y cómo coger la cuchara, que fue lo que me enseñaron. Aunque yo sé cómo, bueno, que yo puedo comer con las dos manos, o sea, no sé cómo ese tipo de personas que comen con una sola mano, que es derecho, sino yo puedo tornármela con las dos manos a la hora de comer.
Treasure chest.
Ahora con la boca llena, esto no da taparse la mano, o sea, sé los modales básicos.
Faster? Okay, faster.
Pero así, que digan que modales tengo, no. De hecho, yo soy una persona muy sincera, lo que digo lo pienso. Así que no sé si sean modales o no.
Hi everyone. I'm Sansa, and I'm I'm working on becoming a bard. Thanks for coming out today, and yeah, I guess I'll start the song now.
All goes quiet on Star Snatch Cliff. High in the trees, all is...
Oh wait, sorry, that's not right.
High in the trees, no whiff of the wind, no sign of the birds, no flapping of wings.
Then it goes.
Pause. Pause.
Oh gosh, this is so embarrassing. I'm making a complete mess of this. I didn't get tongue-tied at all on the 42nd time, or the 90th time. So why can't I get it right now?
The 42nd and 90th time?
Yep. I rehearsed this 100 times to try and perfect my performance. So, this is my 101st time playing this song. But my first time performing it live. I really thought it would go well this time. But nope. I blew it again. Though not for lack of practice, surely.
Right. That amount of practice should have been more than enough. If it still isn't working, maybe it's more a question of how you've been practicing. Actually, the Traveler here has loads of experience with performing music. Why don't you tell us what your method is? Maybe we can give you some suggestions. And, Paimon can give you pro tips from an audience perspective. As a highly seasoned and professional audience person.
Aw, that's so kind of you. I'm touched that you're willing to help me. Give me a second. Let me just check my notes. Or, actually, why don't I just give you my notes so you can read them for yourself?
Notes about what?
Just things I jot down after each practice. Stuff to watch out for, areas to improve on, etc. Oh, but you can ignore the second half. That's just my random thoughts on other people's performances and trying out different instruments.
denser than the encyclopedias in the Mondstadt library. So are you like a music scholar, collector, librarian?
Well, my parents always hoped I'd become a scholar, so they made me take classes in all of those things and more. But now, I'm applying everything I've learned in academia to becoming a bard. Well, I'm all ears. Where do you think I'm going wrong? Have I misunderstood some core principles of music theory, perhaps? Or am I approaching my rehearsals wrong?
Paimon never knew being a bard was such hard work. The tone-deaf bard always makes it look so easy. He never seems stressed out at all. And still, his singing and lyre playing always sound really great. Unless he's actually been practicing in secret.
Venti!
Ah! Tone-deaf bard, where did you come from? Well, Paimon sure hasn't missed that attitude.
A whoosh?
So it must have been a cat that stole the leaf, right? And with your allergies, you can't exactly go chasing it down.
I can help too, Venti. Your music has always been a huge inspiration to me, so it would be my honor. And, after we find it, could I get some advice on songwriting from you? Sorry, I know I shouldn't spring that on you. I was just worried if I stayed quiet now, I might be too shy to ask later, and I didn't want to let the opportunity slip by, so I'm sorry. I hope I didn't make this weird. Wow, really? Okay, I'll just grab my... Wait, where's my notebook? Oh, it's right here. Sorry, give me a second.
Huh? But then, why did her performance go so badly despite all the effort she put in? There's gotta be a reason for it.
I guess I just lack that natural talent. Maybe I'm not meant to be a bard, huh? Oh, let me think. Maybe it was a sense of yearning. Back when my parents forced me to stay in my room and study, I'd always hear this bard singing out his wonderful melodies and beautiful voice, or like a soft breeze that stirred my heart. I remember thinking to myself, yeah, that's it. I wanted to be free and happy just like him. And like him, I wanted to share that joy with the whole world. But I get so nervous when I'm performing in front of a crowd. I try to mitigate that by doing plenty of practice to make sure nothing goes wrong. But it's no use. What? But I can't even get my words out.
Exactly. If you really want to share freedom and joy with the world, first you need to be the freest and happiest person of them all.
So, I've got to be my freest, happiest self in order to share that with others. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, thank you all so much.
In that case, Paimon will be the audience. Paimon is the most professional and freest audience you'll ever find.
That was my first ever successful performance in front of a crowd. For once, I didn't stumble over my words. Once the music started, it felt like I became one with the wind. I could roam freely, and nothing could stop me.
The audience definitely felt it too. Look, even that cat came to check out the show. Wait, a cat?
Oh, Charcoal! So it was you! I'm sorry, that's my neighbor's cat. Whenever I'm rehearsing, it all...
What was that in its mouth? Was it the leaf with Venti's poem?
Charcoal! That belongs to Venti. It's very important to him. Could you give it back? You've helped me so much. I feel bad that I have no...
Gone like the wind.
I can hardly believe I got a personal lesson from Venti himself. I must find time to thank him properly. Oh, and of course, I can't offer much, but why don't you take the songbook? It's from back when I was studying. I noted down all kinds of tunes from many parts of the world. Oh, and as well as tunes, I also collected all kinds of instruments. You're welcome to try them out anytime you want. It'll be great to have another music.
Awesome! We'll definitely take you up on...
What are you staring at?
You finally arrived. There's no time to spare, so we'll begin with our first lesson.
Wait, hold on. There's something we need to clear up first. Otherwise, it'll keep bugging us.
So that's still on your mind, huh? Maybe you're the ones who can't let things go. Don't worry, there's a time and place for exacting vengeance. Besides, I'm not in the mood for any right now. Best save it for later.
You need to be in the right mood for vengeance.
I already have a long list of vengeance to exact. Even if I wanted to begin now, I'd have to start in the right order. Who knows how long it will be before I get to you?
Well, if you have so much to take care of, wouldn't it just be easier to give us a clean slate?
Absolutely not. Stealing my targets, calling me a ruthless ruler, and suspecting my uncle. All worthy of vengeance in my eyes. But you needn't worry, at least not whilst we're investigating this matter. I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase, a man of moral integrity fears no slanderous attack. If Uncle Schubert didn't commit any wrongdoing, then any such investigation will prove fruitless. But if he did commit a wrongful act, then he should bear the full punishment. I'm sure you understand. Good. Now, there are two key points that aristocrats attach great importance to. Your manner of speech, and your bearing. Let's begin with your manner of speech. Aristocrats have a very unique way of carrying conversation, even with mundane daily topics.
Oh, Paimon's already learned some unique conversation. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Not even close. And besides, it sounds strange.
Hey! Paimon learned it from you! And didn't you say not to call others strange? It seems you don't respect the rules of your own clan.
No, I've no need to trouble myself with such frivolous formalities. Here, allow me to demonstrate. For example, when greeting a friend, you could say, "As the morning dew greets the coming dawn, so do I greet you, my dear friend."
As the morning dew does what now?
However, such a phrase may only be used during the morning hours. Also, the party with whom you're speaking must be of approximately the same status as you. Morning dew is not uncommon, so it expresses that friendship should not be measured by value, yet also suggests that friendship between aristocrats is pure like water. Oh, no. You must be prudent with your words. Calling someone a good friend could easily offend them.
But didn't you just say my dear friend in your example? Paimon's confused.
Yes, I did. But you must know in the Lawrence family, dear friend is a set phrase that can only be used towards certain friends with whom one is acquainted, but not particularly close. It sounds much more pleasant to call an acquaintance a dear friend. So another thing to remember, aristocrats are concerned with face and being polite. However, if you were to use dear friend to address an intimate friend, the recipient would think that you were deliberately trying to estrange them. This is only the first step in making a greeting. After addressing one another, you then exchange courtesies.
Wait. This is all too abstract. Perhaps it would be better if you gave some real-life demonstrations.
Very well. Come with me. We'll choose some bystanders to converse with.
Oh, you're Eula of the Lawrence clan, right? This can't be good.
You there, lowly laborer. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility... What comes next? Oh, right. By solemnly kneeling to the ground with utmost sincerity.
Huh? I can't make heads or tails of anything you're saying.
Hold on. What did they always teach me? Whenever a dispute arises, protection of your family's prestige and dignity always takes precedence. Got it. As a lowly commoner, you shall maintain absolute reverence when speaking with those under which you so graciously toil. How dare you speak in such a manner?
Is everyone from the Lawrence clan so strange? The days of the Lawrence clan's tyranny have long passed. I don't care what you're trying to do, just beat it. Like I said, I don't care what you're doing. I have nothing to say to any member of the Lawrence clan. And here's a word of advice. I wouldn't be caught dead walking too closely with any one of their like in Mondstadt. If that's all, I'll be going. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself if we talk any longer.
Hey! Don't leave! Halt! Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Wow, the Lawrence name really does carry a terrible reputation.
Never mind him. I could have predicted as much. Let's find someone else. You there, lowly toiler. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility, and solemnly kneel to the ground with utmost sincerity. Huh? Why don't you respond? According to the custom, I must wait until you kneel completely before I can say the next words. Ah, right. I mustn't look at you too long, or I'll be drawing more attention to our difference in status. Oh dear, I've already stared at you for quite a while. Fine. You may spare yourself the formality of kneeling, as it may be a little inconvenient. I shall continue. Oh, wait. I think there's a line for people with rude attitudes in this situation.
Hey, stop bothering me or else I might say something you wouldn't like to hear. Then again, I've got no words for anyone from the Lawrence clan.
Again? What's with this attitude?
Yes, I don't think his attitude will change. If I keep grandstanding like this, the outcome won't be good. Let's try to find someone else to talk to. I'll remember your unwillingness to comply. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine. You there, lowly worker.
Yeah, I've already heard it all before. Look, just spare me the time. Our answer's always the same. We've got nothing to say to the likes of you. I mean, seriously, can't you just take a hint?
Please calm down. We don't want to cause any trouble.
I know she's a Knight of Favonius, and that the Knights wouldn't misplace their trust, but the name Lawrence carries too much weight with it. Even to this very day, the descendants of the Lawrence clan are still scheming to reclaim Mondstadt and reinstate their aristocratic rule. And if that wasn't enough, here you are purposefully using their awkward way of speaking just to put on an act? Don't you care for the feelings of us ordinary folk?
You have a point. But mark my words, this transgression will not go unnoticed.
Huh? You want to fight? Listen here, I may be no match for you, but I'll be sure to lodge a complaint with the Knights of Favonius. I'm sorry, but I want her to understand that I'm serious. Listen here, if you don't want things to get more unpleasant, then you'd better just stop.
Forget it. There's no point in quarreling any further. Let's go. It's all right. This happens quite often. Let's find someone else to talk to.
Paimon thinks we've seen enough now. Let's just stop. Actually, Paimon thinks we should apologize for asking you to demonstrate for us. We had no idea the feelings between the Lawrence clan and the people of Mondstadt were so bitter.
What can we do? The Lawrence name is already a dirty word among every household in Mondstadt. Even 3-year-olds know the story. I see this kind of attitude all the time. Don't worry. What with me being a Knight of Favonius, they're usually willing to speak a few words with me. Perhaps my aristocratic manner of speech provoked them today. Believe me, it's not a big issue.
So this is the way things are normally for you? There's no need for them to direct their anger at you personally.
That's the way things are. Perhaps it's just fate for those who have made mistakes. Accepting punishment is only fair, right? But when your family has committed atrocities, I'm afraid there's no easy path to reconciliation. As memories are carried in the city breeze, the faults of such grievances are passed from one generation to the next. It is now my turn to bear this burden. At least I have a means of living a relatively normal life compared to the elders of my family. I have nothing to be discontented about.
Yeah, why were you so willing to try and demonstrate for us?
Oh, that reminds me. That last person will not escape my vengeance either. Let's leave it at that. Just think of it as something I like to do. But unfortunately, you probably didn't learn much from those conversations. It seems we have no other choice but to find more people to talk to.
No need! Besides, sharp, and nothing gets in our way on an adventure. Paimon thinks we got the gist of it now. Right? Right? We'll just have to roll with it for now. Let's just keep Eula from getting anyone else riled up.
Well then, I'm glad you learned something. You're already halfway toward mastering aristocratic conduct. A proper manner of speech is more aesthetic than anything else. It stems from their taste for refinement. But we must also practice your bearing. I have a very effective way of training for this. Come with me to Dragonspine.
Life goes on.
Perdón, como que acá me está enfrío mucho. No me gusta mucho andar por acá.
It's so cold. Does aristocrat training really need to be done here?
If you wish to truly achieve the dignified conduct of an aristocrat, you must learn to remain composed and elegant even amidst harsh conditions. For example, you can see that part of the path up ahead is quite difficult to traverse. But a well-trained aristocrat would not only effortlessly proceed forward, but do so without a stain on their garment and their elegance fully intact.
Paimon thinks we've left the realm of aristocrats and entered the realm of adventuring. Compared to what we've already seen, this should be a piece of cake. Paimon thinks so too, but you've got this in the bag.
You look pretty confident this time. All right, let's get started. Remember, you must be graceful and elegant. Don't get knocked or launched into the air. That would be most unsightly.
Bastante difícil.
Verdict is...
Tengo que coger.
That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult. Remember. That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult at first. Remember, you... That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult, remember.
Yeah! Ha! Ha!
Not bad. A lot better than I had anticipated, at least.
Paimon almost didn't make it through. Whew. Good thing we didn't get stuck. So, are we aristocrats now?
Don't flatter yourselves. We've only just begun. This scenario was relatively simple. In the face of a real battle, one would seldom have a chance to stop and evaluate the situation. There's a ley line monolith just up ahead that will attract nearby monsters. True elegance is the ability to calmly yet swiftly make decisions in the heat of battle. My family set only the highest expectations for me, even as a child. Let's proceed, shall we? This is the ley line monolith. Go ahead, activate it. But be careful not to get launched into the air or frozen while fighting. That would be most unsightly.
Opening box of Adepti tricks. Written in the stars!
Verdict is...
To ashes! Go. Let me scry.
Well done. Your performance was most impressive. And you managed to remain calm even in these grueling dragon spine surroundings. I'm starting to wonder if even I could have done the same. Given such an outstanding performance, it seems there is little left for me to teach you.
Like Paimon said, adventuring is our specialty. So, that's it for our training, right? Then let's get out of Dragonspine before Paimon turns into a popsicle.
Hold on. I was commending the Traveler's performance just now. You, on the other hand, seem to have made no progress at all.
What? You mean Paimon was also part of the training?
Yes, of course. You were frantically flying and dashing about throughout the entire thing. Not an elegant sight at all. Did you even listen to anything I was trying to teach you?
Hey! That's not true! Paimon was just focusing on you the whole time!
Whatever the reason, not heeding my instructions. A cause for vengeance, perhaps. Now, drink this.
Huh? What is it? Are you trying to poison Paimon?
Certainly not. It's warm milk. Didn't you just say that you were freezing? Drink it and it'll help warm you up.
Oh, thank you. Are you still planning on the whole vengeance thing?
If I wasn't, then why would I care about you being cold? If you turned into a Paimon popsicle, that would ruin my plans for vengeance now, wouldn't it? So, dear friend, don't die on me out here.
Ah! Paimon knew something was off!
All in the name of vengeance. No need to thank me. Now then, given that your training is complete, it's time we return to Mondstadt. Our last step will be preparing a cordial gift to present to my uncle when you meet him. I already have something in mind. Let's pay Sarah a visit at Good Hunter.
One need not scry to know today's weather will be good.
Oh, hey, Eula. I see you've met the honorary knight.
We meet again, Amber. Seems we're just bound to run into you these days.
Well, I just got back and was thinking about grabbing a bite at Good Hunter. But now that you're here, why don't we all eat together?
Very well. It's been some time since we've last shared a meal together. Come, take a seat. We can discuss my uncle's gift while we eat.
Yes? Is there something else you'd like to order?
Could you please prepare a serving of my uncle's favorite, gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut? We'll take it as a gift to him later.
Coming right up. It'll take some time to prepare. I'll have it here at the counter once it's ready.
Hold on a moment. Is this satisfying salad also something that Amber ordered?
No, she didn't order it. But because she didn't order any vegetables, I thought I'd throw in a salad on the house. You know, to contrast all the meat dishes.
So, we clearly didn't order this, yet you prepared it without authorization. Mark my words, this transgression will not go unnoticed.
You're gonna take revenge on her for giving us a free salad?
You should know me by now. That's the kind of villainous character I am. Well then, please wait a moment while I get the dish for your uncle started.
Delicious unauthorized delicacies. Sarah will pay for this.
Why would you choose gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut as a gift for your uncle? Hyman's never even heard that dish before.
This dish isn't actually on Good Hunter's menu. Only long-standing patrons such as my uncle would know about the dish. The old aristocrat seemed to take a liking to it.
Hey,
Because
pematay
of the
sus
sour
gete
flavor of
kapaten
the
kanan.
sauerkraut,
Tumadan
not too
na
many
sus
people are
gete
fond of it
kapaten
these days.
kanan. Jat
I
laga
guess
seray
it's become
po
less
sus gete
popular over
kapaten.
time. Eula treated me to the dish once, and I couldn't even finish a bite. I've nicknamed it gebratenes Fleisch mit Vengeance ever since. Ugh.
I never expected us to have such completely different tastes in food. If I weren't in such a good mood, I'd say that constitutes grounds for transgression. Of course not. It's hard to find someone in Mondstadt that attracts contempt as much as she does.
It's fine when you're just joking between us, but I'm afraid our honorary knight might misunderstand you. Eula's always talking about vengeance, but that's just how she is. It's nothing you should take too seriously.
But I am serious, and I'll remember every transgression committed against me. Ugh, it's no wonder so many people dislike you.
Hyman's starting to realize that Eula is actually a very good person. There's no need to be so awkward when you want to say something nice.
Listen, you've never been labeled as a social pariah, have you?
Well, no?
So that's why you wouldn't understand how hard it is for a bad person to try to be good. It's impossible for me, and I have no intention of acting like a good person. All right, no need to look so sullen. I'm just kidding. Come on, let's eat. The food is getting cold.
Oh, I'm stuffed. I'll see Sarah about the bill.
No need. I've left the mora under the plate. If you try to settle it with her in person, she won't accept payment for the salad. Don't underestimate my ability to exact revenge. Sarah won't get the upper hand this time. All right, next you should pay my uncle a visit. He has a small camp at the top of the mountain near Springvale. He usually whiles his time away there when there's nothing else to do.
Aren't you coming with us, Eula?
I'm afraid that wouldn't be very convenient for me. It'd be better if you two went alone. Ah, yes. Please do remember to pick up the dish from Sarah.
I still have more recon to do in the wilderness. Well, until next time.
Let's meet again. What an interesting bunch you are.
Here, the Gebratinus Fleischmitz sauerkraut is ready to go. Be sure to eat it while it's hot, otherwise the flavor will be spoiled. And by the way, don't worry too much when Eula says strange things. She's actually a very good person.
Paimon's been meaning to ask. No one could stand the sight of Eula when she was trying to speak with the others in Mondstadt earlier. But she seemed to get along fine with you and Amber just now. What's up with that?
The people of Mondstadt don't take kindly to anyone bearing the Lawrence name. They are unable to see past her family, therefore they don't actually see Eula for herself. So no matter what Eula tries to do, it's seen as a wrongdoing. It essentially strips the meaning of anything she tries to accomplish.
How come you're able to see Eula differently then?
Well, when she joined the Knights of Favonius, it caused quite an uproar. Many people signed a petition demanding that the Knights reverse their decision. At the same time, numerous members of the Lawrence clan crowded the entrance of the Knights of Favonius headquarters, clamoring for Eula to give an explanation.
Whoa, so both sides were unhappy.
That's right. So you can imagine how determined Eula must have been under such circumstances. But thanks to Grandmaster Varka and the unwavering attitudes of others in the Knights of Favonius, they were able to quell the unrest. Tensions still remain beneath the surface, I'm afraid. In the eyes of the people, she's a stain on the Knights of Favonius, and in the eyes of the Lawrence clan, she's a disgrace to her family. But she simply fulfills her duty as a knight, silently helping one person after another, myself included. People like Eula should be approached with care and understanding. She could stand to be treated a little more fairly. I believe a day will come when things will get better.
Once everything's settled, we should go talk to Eula again. Paimon thinks we know how to communicate with her now.
I'm glad. I think that would make her very happy, though she might not ever admit it. Take care. Please come again.
Yeah.
The tent seems to be pretty tattered, but there's a really fancy chair. Could this be another aristocratic custom?
Ah, it's you again. I thought I had rid myself of you two. A few humble words, huh? Yes, that sounds appropriate enough. Very well. I'm certainly not one to be narrow-minded. I'll overlook your previous misconduct for now and listen to what you have to say.
Wow, this guy thinks so highly of himself.
Ah, a kindred spirit, I see. Yes, we must resist the blundering Knights of Favonius. You are true and principled. Impressive. My intentions were to test your humility. It appears you have become well versed in our etiquette.
Oh, so he was testing us. Sheesh, what an ordeal.
Your conduct is satisfactory. I must say, such progress in such a short time is practically unfathomable. If I may ask, from whence did you learn such a civilized manner of speech? Ah, good. Very good. You are bright, and compared with the common folk of Mondstadt, you certainly have potential. If you were of aristocratic blood, your prospects would be promising indeed.
By the way, we brought a gift. Ahem. Paimon means we would like to present you with a small token of our goodwill.
Huh? Could this be? Gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut? It's evident that your sentiment is genuine. As a young person nowadays, only with no small effort could you achieve such a dish. It's been so long since I dug into a big, tasty... I beg your pardon. What I mean to say is, since it's nearly mealtime, I shall partake. Ah, yes, this aroma, just as I remember it. And this exquisite sour flavor. A delicacy that only us noblemen and women could appreciate.
Now even Paimon's starting to wonder what it tastes like.
I acknowledge your genuine goodwill. Such sincerity must certainly imply that you come bearing a request. Wait, so you've come to know of this, too? It was meant to be a family secret. Well, considering your meticulous etiquette, you must be a talent of unusual fortitude. I'm willing to place my full trust in you. Please, come with me. We happen to be in need of competent fellows like yourself. To see some friends from a distant land. They have offered their assistance in restoring the Lawrence clan to its former glory.
So he trusts us solely based on your etiquette.
Well then, let's get going, shall we? You'll understand everything in due course.
Do you think his friends are the Fatui? Things will get sticky if the Fatui happen to recognize you. What should we do?
Huh? Why have you put on a mask all of a sudden? Even if they are powerful, our status is much higher than theirs in the land of Mondstadt. And therefore we shouldn't allow them to admire our true faces so easily. I see.
Good thinking. Paimon thought for sure they'd recognize us.
Let's proceed, shall we? I'll introduce you as my guest. As you'll see in a moment, there are many already helping us. I heard that this area had already been purged once by the Knights of Favonius, but it's the only place around Mondstadt that is well concealed and spacious enough. Although it has fallen into disrepair and does not suit the tastes of the nobility, we simply have to make do for now.
Sorry, can we walk any faster?
Of course not. An aristocrat always moves with grace in his steps. Moving hurriedly is unacceptable.
As expected, it's the Fatui!
As expected.
Because we always see them around the city. They must be very powerful.
Huh. Nothing more than foreign ruffians with power and the ability to flaunt it. But they are favorable.
Hold it right there! Who's this?
If you really must know, they're my guests. If you happen to offend them in even the slightest, then you will be held accountable by the Lawrence clan.
But this matter is of utmost secrecy. We must exercise caution.
You dare question the ways of a nobleman? I don't have time for this. Make way.
No need to sound all high and mighty like that. Fine. You may proceed.
Being here with us, they don't dare to question you.
Of course. That is the benefit of prestige. In past times, it would be a dire offense to speak to a nobleman in such a manner. We could determine a person's fate with the blink of an eye. Huh. And such glory will return to me again before long.
Where have I seen this person before? And who, may I ask, is this? We mustn't bring just anyone in here.
This is our new ally that I've recently met. They are completely trustworthy. You have the word of the Lawrence clan.
Our plans are strictly confidential. It's not wise to bring in an outsider at this time. Furthermore, there's been word that an outlander who joined the Knights of Favonius has been very active in Mondstadt recently.
Don't be ridiculous. Besides, my guest is well versed in the etiquette of the nobility. I must treat them with the proper mutual respect. The Knights of Favonius pay no regard to such details. They could never understand the intricacies of our etiquette.
And what about this thing?
You mean Paimon?
Enough! You dare question my word? Need I remind you who it is who has made your activity in Mondstadt possible? Without the support of the Lawrence clan, you would have all been driven out by the Knights of Favonius like dogs. You must immediately offer your sincerest apologies to my friend. You've offended their honor.
Fine. I'll take your word and make no further inquiries. Now, to the matter at hand. Did you bring the diagram of Mondstadt's defenses as promised?
Oh, so that's what's going on here.
Yes, of course. Here it is.
Let me see. Why is it so poorly drawn? Everything's so squiggly and crooked. And what is this shape supposed to be?
Excuse me? I'll have you know that I went to great lengths to carefully draw this map by hand myself. That shape is the symbol of the Knights of Favonius.
I see. Crude, but I can make do. Are you able to verify that this is all reliable information?
Of course, you needn't worry about that. Don't forget what we agreed upon. The flag of the Lawrence clan will fly above the Knights of Favonius headquarters. The rights to that building, as well as the whole of Mondstadt, belong to the Lawrence clan.
Yes, we will both profit from this agreement. There's no use haggling over the details. We will make good use of the intel you provided. Also, be certain not to divulge our identity. There would be diplomatic consequences, you know.
Don't worry, this matter is only between you and I. And my new friend here. No one else will know of it. Once this is over, I shall stand atop the Favonius headquarters and rebuke their pathetic rule over Mondstadt. Then, the city and all its people will once again be under the rightful and unwavering rule of the Lawrence clan. Perfect. Just as it once was, and just as it should be.
May I remind you once again that we mustn't act rashly. That is...
Very well.
Huh? What are you doing?
That's right! It's the Honorary Knight and their trusty companion, Paimon! We're here to crush your evil schemes into dust! Dust!
So this was all just a ploy to deceive me!
It's your own fault! Who would put so much trust in someone based purely on their manners?
After so much planning, this is how it ends? Huh! We'll see about that!
Just as I expected. I knew I should have never trusted these foolish aristocrats. No matter, we already have the intel we need. Get them!
They're running off in different directions. Paimon remembers that this place is a dead end. Let's take care of the Fatui first and then deal with Schubert later.
Retribution!
Kaya kami sa ito kung
I will end you. Don't say this quickly. We've only just begun. You can't run. Looks like I went too far.
Delved into destiny.
Like this?
Door is open. Let's go. Is that...
Don't touch me! Get out of my way! I'll leave on my own!
It seems we finally caught up with you. This place is crawling with Fatui. Oh, it's you. It seems your investigation went well.
Aha! I see now. So you're the one that taught them our etiquette. And I thought you despised such pleasantries. Furthermore, there is a rule in our family. Such traditions are never to be taught to outsiders.
Ah yes, rings a bell. So what? I had no reason not to teach them.
You have brought shame to our family and ruined my plans. It's all for naught now.
I know that you poured great efforts into these plans, Uncle. But you were well aware that it was not the right thing to do. As a Knight of Favonius, I could not overlook your actions.
Knight of Favonius? Let's get one thing straight. I am your uncle, and you are a member of the Lawrence clan. You should strive to restore your family's glory. You still have a chance. Defeat every Knight of Favonius here, and leave with me. Then I shall plead with the family to spare you and give you a new beginning.
So just to be clear, you want a Knight of Favonius to attack the Knights of Favonius?
I shall say this one last time. You are not a Knight of Favonius. You are a descendant of the Lawrence clan. The blood of the Lawrence clan flows in your veins. You must comply with the will of the family.
Since when have I ever complied with the will of the family?
Why, you unruly maid!
If anyone should be angry, it should be me. As a member of the Lawrence clan, you knowingly plotted against the city of Mondstadt and threatened its safety. Had you ever stopped to consider the trouble it would bring to so many people? Had you considered how many enemies you would make trying to keep the plans under wraps?
You dare lecture me?
That's right. In the name of the family that you so dearly revere, Uncle Schubert. I've never experienced the age of glory you always speak of. And I've never understood our family's incessant pursuit of it. But I am capable of discerning right from wrong. And I deeply understand what freedom means to the people of Mondstadt. The Lawrence clan should never and will never become what you've dreamed it to be.
Oh, the disgrace of it all! How could such a rebellious monster emerge from our own family?
Things are starting to get pretty hysterical here. Politeness and elegance seem to have gone out the window.
That's enough fuss for today. You two, take him away. The honorary knight and I have other matters to attend to. Given that you've already taken action, I assume you've come across some conclusive evidence?
Paimon took a peek at their diagram. Your uncle had mapped out all of the Knight's patrol routes and marked out key information about Mondstadt.
And there was me thinking that he was just another elder of the family. And a lazy one at that. I never suspected he could stoop this low. So stubborn. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine. Let's discuss this later. Our first priority is recovering that diagram. Crush! Rack and ruin! Yeah!
Life goes on.
Shadows of fate!
Pensé que podía apagarla.
They're here! Stop them!
Written in the stars!
Orders given. Orders received.
Let me scribe!
Harden up! Cover! This is trouble. I must collect myself.
Power that ended Hudson!
The loneliness of death.
Shudder!
Finally, some quiet.
Killjoy!
We've only
Beg
just
for mercy.
Looks like I went too far. Harden up.
Crush!
Take cover. You need to hurry up. This one's well done. An unfortunate fall.
Fate is upon you!
Must counterattack. No excuse for slacking.
Shadows of fate!
Here you go.
Beg for mercy.
No slacking.
Kids?
Right there. Let's end this quickly. You're breaking a sweat.
Shudder!
Some time for a break yet. This should be fun.
Sacred name. Fortune preserver.
Burn!
Not breaking a sweat.
Beg for mercy.
I slipped up.
Freeze to the core.
Isn't time for a break yet.
I condemn you.
Written in the stars!
Let me scry.
Verdict is...
Eyes on me!
Use this first. Not breaking a sweat. Just down. So quiet.
Delve into destiny.
My duty.
Como lo quiere dinero. Ya que le hemos metido en dueño mucho dinero y todo eso para hacer eso.
Crush!
Bien. Acabo de encontrar que ya.
That's where they put the diagram!
This here, huh? I guess there's no other option but to fight.
Ahí voy para.
Time for retribution!
You dare provoke me! Fatui, come forth and dispose of them!
Delve into destiny.
So soon!
Orders given. Orders received.
Verdict is...
Beg for mercy. Shudder!
Can't run from death.
Beg for mercy.
Wheel of life.
This must be it. They may very well have already made a copy of it. But without my uncle as their puppet, there'd be no use in them attacking the city.
The Fatui wouldn't have relied only on your uncle.
True. But if their plan had hinged purely on taking Mondstadt by force, as opposed to with the help of a puppet, they could have spared themselves the trouble. The Fatui are dishonest, but they wouldn't go as far as to start an open war. Their opposition wouldn't just be Mondstadt alone. Anyway, I'll inform the acting Grandmaster. She'll know how to handle things from here.
Oh yeah! You suddenly appeared at just the right moment!
Yeah, about that. Because you stole my targets by attacking the Fatui I'd been tracking earlier. I came to exact my vengeance. You tried to do my job for me, and I'm here to return the favor.
Finally! After all this time, Paimon understands what you're saying! In reality, you sensed that something might happen to us during our investigation. You were worried about us and your uncle, so you brought a team to take a look.
My purpose was vengeance. Don't twist the story. You don't look too bright, but it turns out you have a knack for scheming. And mark my words, I'll remember that.
Hey, what do you mean Paimon doesn't look too bright?
You have seeded a deep enmity between us. Just you wait. Even if you were to be completely destroyed, I would never forget you.
Bring it on!
I like your fighting spirit. I'll take this diagram back to the Knights of Favonius and take it from here.
Sure. Well, see you around.
That you will. And make sure not to steal my targets next time.
¿Qué va a mencionar él?
Sister Rosaria! So here you are! Choir practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Hopes? That's odd, 'cause I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
Seems like that sister's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Wait, she heard that? Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you. The honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping. Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
Another test
I
subject.
suppose this will do.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
You're so suspicious. Why is Paimon a criminal in your example? It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Huh? Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized. Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves painting. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Potential paintings everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Isn't he in danger? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Written in the stars.
Burn!
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails unfinished.
What's up with painting hilly churros? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Wow, look at the detail! But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilly trails anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Ugh, something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! What a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Mm-hmm. We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world, correct? Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously. Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against. That's where I need your assistance.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety. Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Esta montaña que no me gusta mucho estar acá, casi me muero ahí.
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
No, Paimon's got a brain. But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy related disciplines I'm any good at. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person, how you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature.
No.
Fascinating. And this floating child is connected to your body in some way?
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springville to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them, using whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Slimes! Slimes are fine.
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Ha! Time for retribution!
Sacred name, fortune preserver. Let me scry.
Decided by destiny.
Verdict is... Ha! Ha!
To ashes!
Time for retribution!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this test. Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign. Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver, but unfortunately not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contenders. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like there's a silver lining. Let's keep our eyes open.
Here, should do for catalyst purposes.
Rise. Wow. Opening box of Adepti tricks.
This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way. This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes. Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregis vine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that she did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world. Now that really would be something, wouldn't it?
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
Great. I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll hand it over to you. In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What's happened to her?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense and reason, it would be wrong of me to place that risk onto you. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have it. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a
Alam mo
peculiar
to.
person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an Eye of the Storm. To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something.
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Here comes Albedo. Let's go see him.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. Do you possess any unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
You think Paimon knows how to do that stuff?
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose. Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking, as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does he get these ideas from anyway? Let's just do it the old-fashioned.
Kira-kira kayak kita modelnya apa namanya?
That was fast. An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though, if you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight!
Okay.
This must be... The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This has gotta be it! Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong!
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountain.
Yep! Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of, and only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is, in essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
El tipo pensó que yo era Superman o qué.
up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute! While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Life goes on.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, Traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong. If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence, the innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights. It would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our... The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, all these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a Sunsetia or a sweet...
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this now. Before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
Marcando un año. pantalla, madre.
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. A tried and tested adventurer, I see. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution. Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Wheel of life.
Ha!
Kaya mo. Oyos ng mereka.
Life goes on. Let me scry, written in the stars.
Time for retribution!
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey! Explaining things is Paimon's job!
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments. I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat. Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
Después del hijo de puta no se traiciones.
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, live to perfection is so. Do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling her how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Si lo malo de Genshin pues queda muy poquita recompensa. O sea, como que muy poco lo que gana. Bueno, hasta aquí directo hoy, espero que les haya gustado. Feliz minuto de hoy para todos, eso es lo mejor, hasta luego.